everyone, and welcome to the G.I.O show. This is the show that stands for the greatness inward and outward show. Today we have such a special guest, one of my best friends. He's amazing. His name's Sebastian Cutler-Dejesesus. He's the Puerto Rican National Team goalie and also the Villanova keeper. Seb, just to start out, I just want to say thank you for coming on. It's been a pleasure. You've been my friend for so long. And your dad's amazing. I just got a cut from anyone, Pete the haircut. But seriously, thank you so much for coming on.
Gio, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. Gio's been wanting to get me on the show for what? How long has it been? Like 4 weeks, something like that?
Yeah, around there.
Yeah, and I've been really excited because once you showed me the logo and I got that email from your team, I was like, okay, this is official. We're starting this. I'm ready to go. But yeah, no, thanks for having me, and I'm so excited to be on the show.
Thanks so much, Seb. Everyone, I'm telling you, you're not going to want to miss this guy. He's an athlete. He is a freaking competitor. I mean, he tries his hardest in everything. It kind of reminds me of the Four Agreements, but we can get into that later. Seb's really incredible human being. And honestly, the smile that he has on his face, I hope it's infectious. I hope you guys watching through the camera are literally like melting because it doesn't go away. This is not just for the camera. He does this every day, 24/7. Seb, you know what? Tell everyone, just tell them who you are. Tell them what makes you Seb. Just go ahead.
I would say, I'm a big energy guy. That's the biggest thing. I think I love to spread positivity, and I think that's me being a teammate as a soccer player and also a person. I think that's my biggest trait. I love to make people laugh, and I love to, make people feel good and happy. I think that's the most important thing. But regarding myself, I was born in New York. Yeah, my mom's Puerto Rican, my dad's Australian, and grew up in Westchester County. Yeah, I just, very lucky to grow up there. I think I was surrounded by many cultures. I think I'm able to, talk to many different people from different areas in the world. So I think that's, I'm very grateful for that. But I would say, yeah, it's one of those things that I try to improve and be better at every single day. But I think being a good person is the most important thing. So that's what I try to do.
Preach that last part, being a good person. Hey, I try to do that every day. And also the thing that you mentioned about being surrounded by so many cultures, growing up in New York City. I think, where are you right now?
Westchester, New York. I'm back at home. So
Okay.
back at home living with the fam for the summer.
That's awesome. And when you're over there, how were you able to kind of talk to all these different people? You find it so easy now with your smile, with your energy, you're so energetic. But when growing up with all those different cultures, how did you really mold into that melting pot and be able to have a conversation with anyone? Was it just natural from a young age? What happened there?
It felt natural to me. I think I get a lot of it from my dad. But me personally, I just love to get to know people. I love to hear about people's stories and where they come from, and just how they became who they are today, and my dad's a big advocate for that. Obviously, he cut your hair a couple days ago, and you already know the guy can talk to a tree for 4 hours, so yeah, no, I get all my personality skills from my mom and my dad. They're such giving people, and they always want to know and get to know people more. So I think it's one of the things that I kind of grew up being surrounded by. So I think that's where I get it the most. And also because of my energetic personality, I just, I'm always willing to, have a bite to eat with someone, go out for drinks, whatever, anything, so yeah.
Yeah, when I met your mom the first time, Linda, Miss Cutler, whatever you want to call her, she's really amazing. I thought you got that spunky personality from her, but then freaking Rodney, and this guy is just different. And he looks, he got the hair, he got the swag, he has the 3 barber salons, whatever, and he's genius at what he does. And so, yeah, it's a pleasure meeting your parents. Thank you for even allowing me getting even close to that circle. But
we're regular people, my man. We're regular people.
I know you're regular people, but you're not regular. You're definitely different. Yeah, you're definitely different. And so were there any people like in your life where that just changed you? And so I know you spoke a little about mom or dad. Do you have anybody that you really like look up to that's maybe not them and carries this character that you have, or that drives you in your motivations in sport or in life? Is there anybody who does that, or any people in particular?
Yeah, I would say my brother. As you know, I'm a twin. My brother, Andre Cutler-Dejesus, he's a center back at Syracuse playing soccer. And yeah, we've been doing the same thing since we were, out of the womb. So we've always been pushing each other. We're competitors. He works harder than me. He's a more competitive than me. The guy is an animal. There's some days when I just want to stay in, sleep in, and he's just knocking on my door, just getting my ass up. So I really appreciate him, and he's the guy that pushes me, and I push him. And we both have goals that are very similar, and we both appreciate that we're striving to reach our goals. So that's the person I look up to the most. I think I connect with him the most. We think the same, and we've done everything together. So that's the person who I really, really strive to be.
Sounds like twin telepathy, something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, it is. It is. It is.
You speak about all this hard work, this energy that he brings, and you already have this energy. But yes, guys, everyone who's watching, he has a twin, doesn't look like him, kind of like fraternal. Anyways, you guys are just speaking about this hard work, how you want to be him. And if I speak to Andre, he thinks you're crazy because you are always at it, and that's your humbled side coming out. I see it. So do you guys, when you guys are working this hard, why do you work so hard? Is it to like please yourself, or is it because you feel like you owe something to your parents for so much that they've done for you? What is it that makes you guys work like this?
I think it's a mixture of both. My dad and my mom, obviously, my mom grew up in Puerto Rico, and my dad was born and raised in Australia, and he moved here when he was in his early 20s. So I think this family's brought on just working hard and being consistent and being loving and being kind. And that's kind of the aspects that I get from them. Me and my brother, we were never, I think you can ask many people that we grew up with, we were never spectacular in what we did. We were never the best guys on the field, but I think, and it now, you can slowly see the harder you work and the better you are at your craft, the more you rise, and you can see how when you're U14, we weren't the best, right? But you can look who's still playing. We're the ones still playing. We're the ones still grinding. And I think that's the biggest thing. And also, me and my brother, we just have this common thing, but we just love it. We just love working hard. We love going to the field and just not being able to walk off the field, and just because we're so tired. That's what we love to do. And yeah, and regarding the parents' side, I would say it's definitely we want to make them proud. I would say we want to make them proud. That's the thing. They've provided so much for us. They've driven us to the craziest places. They paid for the craziest flights to get us the opportunity to play with teams all around the world. So I would say we definitely want to make them proud.
Well, that's a great answer, and it's so fascinating on how much you guys want to work hard. Oftentimes, kids go out and they do it for the Instagram, for the TikTok, for the videos, and it's great to see that you guys are there to put in the work and see the results come. And I was talking to my coach yesterday, and he was texting me after my soccer game, and he was like, "Hard work works," and he
Yeah,
from Denzel Washington. And anyways, I gotta say, it just clicked today, and it's just hard work works, and
it
it's
is.
so evident in your family. Your dad owning salons in Hollywood, New York, Brooklyn, you working hard, your brother at Syracuse, you're at Villanova now. Your mother's a freaking champ. She got that Puerto Rican in her. And so
Yeah.
it's really evident in your family. And so it's awesome to see. And I hope you guys just keep working hard. And I can't wait to dive into these goals that you guys all have as we get on in this podcast. But it's really amazing. I love it.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the love. By the way, fans, G.I.O is acting real humble right now. This guy is a complete animal. When he gets on the field, I've never seen someone more locked in, but also so much joy. Remember El Salvador? Do you remember that?
I do. I
You
do.
were walking on the field. There's 20,000 fans, and this guy's looking at us, and he's like, he's growling. He's like, hard, hard. He's growling. You're growling, and then you could just, but you also, the way you smile, I'm just like, oh, this guy's gonna kill it. And he bawled. I don't know if I can curse, but I'm not going to. But he bawled out. He bawled out.
Well, thanks, Seb. I just hope people watch and just see the love. People don't talk about their friends this way. They don't. People just don't talk about their friends this way. And I love love. And then I just said, today I posted a quote that I made, and it was, "You get to love." And I'm not trying to change the subject, but golly, like the way you just loved me right there. Shoo! Dude, that was amazing. I felt special for a moment, and I'm not special. So that was pretty cool. But guys, it's just, I hope you guys see just how happy we are to just be friends. I mean, Seb, I appreciate all those kind words. I had a blast. I couldn't do anything without you on that team. The support that you give me just being a teammate. So many people could just learn on how to be a good teammate. We were both there for each other in one of our biggest moments in our careers.
Yeah,
And
that's
we
true.
were
That's true.
there, you know?
Yeah, we still have that video. I'll put it on my story if I still have it. I think I have it in my camera roll for
Yeah,
sure. I definitely have it in my highlights.
I'll put it as a teaser right on this show. Right before this comes out, I'll be like, fans, look at me kiss my brother. Like, just look at him go for his dream. And then you ended up saving one of the best PKs in Puerto Rico history. So it's amazing. And then now you're gonna be getting time, you're gonna be coming in and you're gonna be a champ. You're gonna go in and you're gonna be that goalie who's just gonna go in and kill it.
Yeah, that's
Because
the way it is.
hard work works. And that's
Hard work works. God, you're right, man. You're freaking right. That's the way. That's the way to do it.
yeah. And going back, we're gonna go back, your mom and dad, your dad's from Australia, your mom's from Puerto Rico. Knowing that both cultures raise their kids in a different way, what balance did you kind of see in your household from Australian culture and Puerto Rican culture?
Well, credit to my parents. I think they've done an amazing job just integrating both cultures into our family. Obviously, you met both my parents, and you can tell how family orientated they are. I've just been in touch with my Puerto Rican side. I'm always with my cousins. I'm always seeing my aunts. I go to Puerto Rico every single year, 3 times a year for Christmas, for Thanksgiving, and then for the summer, it's a dream come true. And then Australia, obviously, it's a bit farther. It's a 25-hour flight. I see my dad's mom, my grandma. Her name's Tita. Like every single year, we talk to her on the phone all the time. My cousins are a bit older, so they're working now. But when we were younger, we were always seeing them. And I'm just so happy to be in touch with both sides of my culture. And it's something that really makes me who I am, and I'm really proud of that.
That's awesome. I mean, I'm in touch with my culture too. My parents are Colombian, my dad's from Colombia, my mom's from Puerto Rico, and they've done a great job raising me in both sides. And so it's cool to see also from you coming from an Australian side and a Puerto Rican side, how that even meshes together, because I haven't met anyone who's half Australian, half Puerto Rican. And it's not a pretty cool mix.
It
Uh,
is a pretty funny mix. It is.
but
I get that. I
your,
get that a lot.
your parents really balance each other out. I mean, your dad's really loud, your mom's really loud. I could see it. I could see why they're together.
I mean, it's hard for me to see now because I'm so oblivious to it. Because I've lived with them my whole life and I see them every single day. But I can definitely tell. Like when the families meet, it's it's a party. It's a serious party. It's crazy. It's like the energy, positive energy's flowing. Everyone's having a good time, singing, dancing. There's no awkwardness between both families. That's for sure.
I know when I went to that party, I thought your dad was Puerto Rican for a second. I mean, that was one of the best
Oh my
parties that I
God.
ever been to.
That was unbelievable.
Seb's mom had her 60th birthday party. I believe she turned her 60th birthday, right? It was six,
Yeah.
and it was incredible. They rented out a hold space in New York City. Incredible. Went the whole night, danced my socks off. Saw Seb, saw his brother, got to spend some quality time, and got to be with his family. And it was just amazing dancing on the dance floor. But you could really see how there is no judgment between the Puerto Rican side
Yeah.
and your dad. He's part of the family. He's right there. But I didn't want to turn this all to your mother and father. We speak so much about them 'cause they're freaking awesome. But moving on, knowing your mom and you also knowing your father, and you're playing with the Puerto Rico national team representing your mother's island. When you look at it all, do you ever wish that you could have represented the Australian national team?
But I don't really think of it like that. I think obviously Australia is a really big nation in football. And it's really popular, but I never really thought of it as, well, oh, like when I signed for Puerto Rico. Oh God, that's my Australian opportunity gone. That's my U.S. opportunity gone. I've never really thought of it like that because it's all the same. Me playing for my Puerto Rican national team is not taking anything away from me being Australian. Do you know? So that's kind of the way I feel.
I think that's a beautiful way of looking at it. See what you just said there, playing for the Puerto Rico national team and being Australian, that doesn't take away me being less Australian. And I know some people would say that, representing one is more than the other. And so it's really cool that you have that balance for yourself.
Mhm. Yeah. But
What
also, it's a funny story because when we got in touch with the Australian national team. I told you this story before, but when you played for the U17s, so you were on beach side and I was on Met Oval, and my dad heard around when we played you guys that you were playing for the Puerto Rican national team. And then I was like, okay, Gio's playing. Like Gio plays for Beachside. Like we know him. Like let's get in touch. And then boom, right away we went to a tryout. It was for the U20s for the 2020 what, like 18 World Cups, I think it was. And yeah, so then that's history after that. And then made the U20s, and now I'm here.
Yeah, all I wish is that instead of doing that, he would have just reached out to me and we could have been friends then and could have been at each other's house. But he didn't do that. He decided to go the business route. You know, I wish I could have been at Seb's house. He could have came to my house, but it didn't happen. But now it does, and I'm happy that it did.
For real.
When you're with Puerto Rico, you know, representing an island that's so, oh, it's so amazing. I could go on and on about Puerto Rico, but when you represent an island like that and you're representing something bigger than yourself, the people, the culture, the food, the flavor of Puerto Rico, you know, when you're doing that and you're getting selected for such a high level and you're being looked at as, wow, this is a national team goalie and you're in college. How do you balance that out coming from national team, then coming back to college and playing with a crowd that's not like a national team? Or players who aren't of national team level. What is that like for you?
I mean, the last call up we had with Puerto Rico was an unbelievable experience. I mean, that was the biggest crowd I've ever seen playing in Puerto Rico, and I think in a long time. And I loved every single minute of it. And you can clearly see throughout even the last year how much soccer has become more and more popular every single day. So I'm really happy and excited to see the future, or see what the future holds with the Puerto Rican national team. But I think the most important thing for me and what I try to tell myself is not to make it seem like it's anything crazy. I play for the national team, then I go to college, and then right after that, I think it's important to just focus on the next game, focus on the next practice, and I think that's kind of my way of staying locked in, staying tunnel vision, and staying focused on my next craft.
Okay, that's awesome. So kind of staying grounded on the
Yeah,
thing that's coming next.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah, I know for myself when I come back, I'm just like, I play a USL 2 game the other day and I'm just like, damn, we're in front of 20,000. Like, I want to be back over there. I want to go
Oh,
back.
of course, yeah.
And it's hard. And sometimes it's really hard because you're coming from an environment like that. And for me, it's hard when I come back and I'm just like, damn it, I'm almost there. I'm almost there. Like okay, I gotta keep working. I'll keep working. But
Yeah, yeah.
it's difficult for me. And so it's cool to see, you know, that helps me. That helps me go back and be like, oh, Gio, just focus on the next training. Focus on the
Yeah.
next 90 minutes. Don't think about what's gonna happen in 4 months. And so that part's hard, but it's so great that you're doing it. And I could see that when you come back, you're working on the training field at, I don't know, wherever you're at, and you're just kicking balls against the wall. And I'm just, okay, I got to go and do that. Uh,
Mhm,
I'm done. I'm done for that. I got to bring my wave down. Uh,
mhm.
so I really think that's cool. I learned from that from you.
Oh, I appreciate it. No, but I think it's funny how, don't get me wrong. Of course, I'm like, when we're playing first game of the college season and we don't get that many fans, you know. So when it's different playing in front of 20,000 in El Salvador, and then you go to Villanova and you're playing in August 22nd at 2 p.m. and you know only parents are there, you know. But you got to appreciate it all. I guess I think you got to just appreciate it all.
Yeah, you definitely need to appreciate it all because sooner or later, soccer's going to be done, and then you're on the next thing. Any field you're able to play on, even to move your legs, it's just a blessing.
Yeah.
With Puerto
That's
Rico, what's been your favorite experience?
Oh, I gotta say Gold Cup, man. That whole trip. It doesn't bring it down to one moment. Like of course the penalty save was great, but that's in the past. I think when you look back, like that's not the thing I remember. I just remember the memories, the whole 10 days, how electric every single day was. The camp with, you know, we had everyone back, no one was really missing. And I think that was when our friendship really tightened, I would say. I think we got really close in the Cayman Islands, but I think the Gold Cup was when we were able to, we had so much free time. We were able to train in Miami with the guys. I think it was just the vibes were immaculate, as they say. Immaculate.
Yes, they were, and I think that did solidify our friendship, and I take that with me more than anything on the field. Just how close we are, how we're able to relate. We could talk to each other about anything, be honest, and it's really healthy conversations. And then, of course, we have our late night talks, and those are beautiful.
Oh yeah, those are electric.
Those are electric. And so Gold Cup was amazing. And for people who don't know, you know, I want to mention this, but Seb had one of the biggest penalty saves that he could have had. And he played against Suriname, and it was one of the most crucial games to pass on to the next round of Gold Cup qualifiers. And we passed on to the next game after winning that match, and it was just electric feeling, you know, getting hyped for that and all, and just being in the environment of that game and being, okay, you know. we're there. It's 0-0. It's 0-0. We need a. Oh, Seb, you're coming in. You're shutting out the game, and to have that trust and you come in and shut it out, it was unreal. And I couldn't have been more proud of you as a brother. And it's not. And I wasn't only
Thanks.
there for the high moments for you. I was there for low moments of you, and
That's
for
true.
being just the reason why I bring up that save. It was one on the biggest stage. It was on one of the biggest stages in the world, and so when I see you come from this and then you're going and then we're beating you 3-0 at NYCFC, and then coming
Four,
here,
four, four.
I'm joking, I had to bring that up. But then coming to Puerto Rico and then you were this tiny and then you come here and then you're just killing it. It's honestly amazing to see the development and the growth, and it all comes from the audience can hear it from you, that it comes from the hard work that you've been doing all throughout your life.
Consistency and commitment. Denzel Washington. Here we go.
I know we love our Denzel. I know. But I'm happy to hear that that was your favorite memory. I know for me, this probably was my favorite memory, just this trip just now.
Oh,
And so it's cool. It's cool to see the different memories come and where our different friendships came. I know me and Kobe got closer on this trip. And so it's cool to see how different teammates arise at just different moments. You know what I mean?
mhm. I know exactly what you mean.
And so it's awesome. And honestly, I'm so grateful for the relationships. And for anyone watching, it's just the relationship in life to me. And I think to you are so important, the relationship with your brother, with your friends, that more than soccer, than anything, because those people have your back in anything. No
Yeah.
matter if it's going good or bad, the media's not coming to you if you don't make a save. The media's not coming to you if you don't play 90 minutes. So it's just how, let's be friends before any of that happens. So when it comes, you're like, wow, you came that far along. And I'm
Right.
ranting, but I'm really happy for you and how in your progress and even being at Villanova. And it's awesome.
Thanks, man. I love you, bro. I love you.
Me too, dude. Going on to your last name, I know your mom represents Puerto Rico. You know, her last name's Dejessus. And so your family, you know, you would tell me these stories about your mom freaking grabbing you by the neck. I know she didn't
Oh,
grab you by the neck, but she'd be like, Seb, you need to include my last name on it. And so some families don't even care about adding the last name. And your full name, Sebastian Cutler-Dejesesus. And so can you explain to everyone, why does your last name mean so much and so much to your family?
it's something that represents not just the family now, but our history. Like my grandfather, who passed away 2 years ago. My on my dad's side, my grandfather. Like we called him Popcorn. Like it's just everything that brought us up as the people who we are now. And it's a Puerto Rican thing now. Like what my mom didn't do when we were younger is because we were born in New York, is obviously the American thing is having one last name. But in Puerto Rico, you include your mother's last name. So when I go to Puerto Rico, it's Sebastian Cutler-Dejesesus. On my license, it's only Sebastian Cutler. And when I go to the Puerto Rico, it's because I'm buying a ticket, like with the airplanes, I can only be what's on my license. So that's what it's being said. But whenever I try to include something when I don't need my license, that's when I add the Dejessus. Because I try to always include it because it's something that's part of me. But we're trying to figure out if we can add the Jesus now, and put like Sebastian Cutler-Dejesesus. But we'll see. We'll see. My mom's been trying to do it for years. Been doing it for years.
Wow, and it's crazy how it means so much to her, but I could definitely see it with the generations. You want to
Oh,
represent your family for generations.
right.
And that's awesome. And even your grandfather, I'm sorry to hear about your grandfather, but
Thanks, man.
that's great that you're still representing him and you're trying your
All
best.
right.
Even if you can't get on your airplane ticket, when you do your homework assignment, you make sure that you put that De Jesus right on top.
Exactly. For the college, it's Sebastian Cutler-Dejesesus.
Yes?
Yeah, for Villanova, I got it. To do it
Okay,
then.
that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, it's
So
good.
Seb, I want to rewind a little bit. Tell me how your high school days were, how you came to your college days, and then ultimately coming to Charlotte, which was your first school. And tell us a little bit about that journey from high school to how you were as a person, where you played, your New York City FC Academy, where you went after that. Really give us what did you do and how did that hard work show? Because we want to give the viewers
Yeah.
examples of your hard work.
We're doing story time. I love it. All right. So throughout my childhood, until I was about U14, I played for New York Soccer Club, which I really loved. It was close by. The coaches were great. All about development. That's where I really started to be in touch with being a goalkeeper at like I want to say U8, U7. And I was just, just being able to play with my feet, like just being in touch with 11v11 and 8v8 and all that stuff. And then I went to NYCFC after that, from my U14 to my U15 year. And then so that was really good. I really enjoyed that year. Those 2 years at City, I think I learned a lot about just growing up and being a part of a team that's more about winning than development. I think at that age is when you start to see a change. And I think that's when I really started to work on my craft a lot more than just going to training, coming back, and then not worrying about it. I think NYCFC is it's obviously it's a professional environment. So just having to show up to training an hour early, just all those little minute details that are really big in the long run. So I started to learn that there. And then after, unfortunately, I got cut after my U15 year. It was like in July. And I had the opportunity to go to Met Oval, which was the best decision I've ever made. I love Met Oval and I recommend it to anyone. I
The
think
skyscrapers in the background.
the field's gorgeous, but I think the coaching staff we have at the time, it was Filippo, Giuseppe, Sebastiano, the goalkeeper coach. It was a bunch of Italians just running it, and it was unbelievable. The way we play is just total football. It's about development. It's about technique. It's also about winning. It's about game management, but it's about just having fun and just gaining that love back for the game. And I loved every single minute of it. I played there for 3 years. And then obviously with me getting older, I have to start getting recruited for college. And it was a tough recruitment for me, for sure. I think I was never in anybody's eyes as a big time goalkeeper or someone that could, play for their program my freshman year. So I never really got any looks. I really struggled to find a home. And I think
Oh,
COVID obviously didn't help as well. So
tell them about Portugal, how it all came in.
yeah.
No?
So here we go. So then with COVID, I decided to commit to Wisconsin, but they wanted me to come in a gap semester. So I come in January. During that summer, when I graduated from high school, I had the opportunity to go to Charlotte Independence, a USL championship team. So I went there for 3 months. And then right after that, I was training well, loving it. But then I had the opportunity to go to Portugal from like early September, late August, I think it was. And I was there till May. And I loved every minute of it. I played for Estoril Praia, U23 team. The vibes were it was just football in the morning, living by the coast, just living in Portugal by myself. It was just amazing. And I think that was when I really changed, when my mentality changed, when my football IQ changed. Like that's where I grew as a goalkeeper. And going back to Wisconsin, so I was supposed to go to Wisconsin in December, like for the spring semester. But the coach got fired that recruited me. He got fired. And the new coach came in. And fortunately, he told me he didn't want me. He's like, Seb, we don't want you. You're the old coach's recruit. I don't want anything to do with you. And I was like shit. Oh my, okay, I got to find a new place. So then it was like late March. I'm still in Portugal, training hard, playing, doing really well, just making friendships, just living on my own, which being independent. And you learn a lot about yourself when you live alone. And then after that, I decided to commit to Charlotte. I emailed them. They needed a third keeper to come in, committed to them right away. And yeah, now I'm here. So that's the way it is.
Yeah, that's amazing, Seb. I know all the viewers watching can really take so much out of your story. You just unfolded so many things: independence, discipline, living in another country by yourself, loving being away from home. A lot of people don't love being away from home. And one of the biggest things that I preach that you said were just the small details in New York City's academy of being an hour early, doing the right thing. And the small details set the fundamental of who you are as a person. And for anyone who didn't know, New York City, Charlotte, Portugal, all of those teams, when Seb refers to football, it's soccer here in the States. And so anyone who's watching, all those are different soccer teams and different clubs. And the way he's navigated of people saying, rejecting you, you experience rejection at 15 years old. Oh, how heart-wrenching. But it happens to so many people.
Yeah,
And
happened to the whole team, man.
and some people never experience rejection. Sometimes we're afraid to go talk to a girl because we're afraid of getting rejected. We're afraid to go and ask somebody, hey, can I have an extension for homework because I'm running a little bit behind? Teacher says no, scared of rejection. there's so many little things that you
Yeah.
can get from your journey that you experience that make rejection, you know what, it's not all that bad. It's gonna be
Right.
okay. And so when all these clubs tell you, "No, Seb, we don't want you. No, Seb, yes, we want you. No, we don't want you." It's just people's opinions at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, that's Coach Daniel, Coach Felipe, whatever his name is. And then there's another coach, Coach Bob, who believes in you. And so there's one out of a million, there's a million coaches in this world. One of them's gonna love you.
Right.
It's amazing how it's just a game of opinion sometimes. And I'm so happy that now you're at Villanova. And I'd love for you to tell them how you're at Villanova now and how that experience has been. How did you mold yourself in? And what made you ultimately transfer from Charlotte? How did you know that that wasn't a right fit for you? And now this is the fit that's for you?
Obviously, I committed to Charlotte and I went there. I was there for my full freshman year and the fall of my sophomore year. And I have to say, a lot of people ask me this question, especially when you're in the transfer process, like how did you like your old school? And I have to say, I loved everything about Charlotte. I'm so happy I went there. It was the best place I could have ever gone. I think I learned a lot about the college game. I learned a lot about myself and how I can experience not only rejection, but playing and then not playing and then just being in that type of environment. And yeah, I loved every single minute of it. I still have brothers there that I still talk to. I think a lot of guys there are going to be invited to my wedding, as I tell them. So yeah, it's just being in that environment, that professional environment. I think it's one of the most professional environments in college. I think. Yeah, I just love the city. I love the school. It's just obviously soccer. I was playing and then I wasn't playing as much as I wanted to, and obviously the coach went a different route in my sophomore year. I decided to transfer. I think it was best for me. So when I told the coach, I was like, "Hey, like, you were a player once too. I want to be pro. That's my aspiration. I just got to get minutes." And he agreed. He's like, "Yeah, no worries." And they helped me with everything. They helped me with the process. So I'm always grateful for Charlotte, and I always recommend it to anyone. I think it's a place where if you want to focus on football and become a better soccer player, but also become a better human being, that's the place to go. But then I transferred to Villanova in the spring, and I love it. Love every single minute of it, man. It's We have a new coach named Mark Fetro, and he's a beast. Love everything about him. He's a guy I look up to. He's a guy that pushes the team. He's young. He's aspired to be the best coach in the country, and I love that about him. And that's just why I love Villanova. I think Villanova's a lot more than being a soccer team. You have core values that you learn the first day.
That's awesome. And you speaking of your coach so highly speaks volumes. I mean, you must really love him. And now being at Villanova, it's just going to be interesting how you fit in, how you're going to be. I mean, knowing yourself and your abilities, what do you think that you bring as a player? You're more seasoned now. You're not a freshman. So
Right.
what do you kind of bring to Villanova now?
I think my biggest thing is my leadership qualities. I'm a guy that strives to be consistent and committed to whatever I do. I think that was the biggest thing that I tried to be when I went into Villanova. Of course, I trust my abilities as a goalkeeper. I think whenever I step on the field, I know that I'm able to and capable enough to play at any level. It just takes time. But yeah, the biggest thing I wanted to do at Villanova was go in there and show myself as a good goalkeeper, but also a great teammate. And I think because I'm a big guy in culture, and I think Villanova didn't have the best season last fall. So that was the biggest thing. I wanted to go in and really just help build the culture, because it's not just me that's going to build it. It's everyone. You need a committed culture that's going to help and want to and strive to be the best team in the Big East, and eventually the best team in the country. So that's what I tried to do. Because it's little steps. I wanted to help make the little steps, and I think we did that this spring. So I'm really excited for the fall. I think the fall is going to go great. I'm really excited to be on the field and help my team win. So I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, I really like that. That again, you spoke about the small details. You worked on that this spring, said little bit of fundamentals, went over core values. You know, those things go a long way. And I hope in the fall that you guys have the best season possible and you guys are competing for the Big East championship.
Yeah.
You spoke about your leadership abilities and your qualities, and I could hear a little bit of it in there as you were sprinkling some things and focusing on the small details. But what are some leadership abilities that you've done? Where have you learned your leadership from?
I've learned it from everyone I've met in my life. I think I like to take little things from everyone that I meet, especially you. Like for example, you. I think I'm inspired and I get my inspiration a lot from you, and I talk to you about it and how I can be a better leader. Obviously, because you're captain. Wherever you've been captain. and a role model and a leader on the team. So I think like looking at you and observing you and what you do and how you react to certain situations. And also obviously my parents, my dad, he's a business owner. So I think that's another different type of leadership that I can grab some things from. So I think, yeah, it's just a bunch of little things that I grab from people and also stuff that I believe in and just molding it into myself.
That sounds really good. I mean, you didn't need to give me a shout out again, but I'll take it. I'll keep taking little wins, little wins.
Little dubs, little dubs.
But that's awesome that now I know we were talking about in Puerto Rico and you asked me like, Gio, how can I be a better leader? And now, you're blossoming. You're on the flower. The flowers opening little by little. And now you got to get it to here. And
It's springtime right now. It's springtime right now.
I can't wait. I cannot wait to see it. Don't let the leaves fall on top of it though. You got to
I
make
won't.
the leaves,
I won't. I got my leaf blower.
Fall's coming. Fall's coming. But yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm glad you got your leaf blower. That's amazing that your leadership abilities are coming together, and
Yeah.
I love that you're learning from everyone. You're not sticking to one thing. You're not putting all your eggs in one basket. Here you go. Here you go. I like that. Let me bring that in. And so that's awesome. Take a little bit from anywhere, a little bit of ginger, a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of pepper, a little bit of salt.
Yeah.
You got yourself a meal. So that's amazing. I try to do the same thing by reading my books, and it's helped a ton. We said we were going to get to your goals and dreams in this show. So I want you to tell the viewers what are some goals and dreams that you have? Tell me, because I don't know them all. What are some dreams that you have that you want to reach? And what are some dreams that maybe you have had in your mind and maybe haven't got to?
Yeah. So I think obviously my biggest dream is to become a professional athlete. That's my North Star. Power of positive leadership. There we go. That's a little reference.
I'm
Right there.
Gordon.
That's yeah, that's my North Star. But I think obviously it's important to have individual goals that are steps to your dream goal. So obviously my dream goal is to become a professional athlete, but my mini goals are I want to become a starter at Villanova and stay a starter. I think I want to become the number one. And my next goal is to become the starter for Puerto Rico. And I think those two I'm really happy with at the moment because I see growth and I see myself participating more. Some camps I don't like. Last camp I didn't play. I'm in the official games, but I thought it was a great camp, and it's all about growth. It's all about getting better every single day, and my time will come. That's the way I live, and that's what I believe in. And I think my team goal, which will help me and become a professional athlete, is the team winning the Big East. I think those are two individual and one team goal that I think are really important and big steps towards reaching my dream.
That's awesome that you have it very clear. If someone asked me right now, I would be like, and then I'd have it. But the way that you have it just right there set up, and you have your three little goals leading to that big goal, I think that's a great pathway for yourself. I think you could do it.
Thanks, man.
But to the viewers, to the audience, why do you think that you can do this? Why do you think that you could reach to be a professional soccer player? Not everyone could be a professional soccer player. Why do you have that star so big?
Because I think you have to trust yourself. I've played soccer for a very long time, not crazy, but my whole life, and I've seen myself and I put myself against the best, and I know I can get there. I'm not saying I'm the best. I'm not saying that I'm better than the guys I've trained with or whatever, but I know myself. And I know if I keep being consistent with my work, I know I can get there. I'm not there yet. That's the biggest thing. I think that's what people have to realize. Like, we're not there yet, but we can get there if we continue pushing, staying consistent with our work, and just believing in ourselves. That's the biggest thing. You have to believe you want to get there, because we can work hard every single day, but if we tell yourself, oh, whatever, I'm just working hard because I'm not going to get there, it's not going to work. You have to believe it. You have to manifest it. You have to want it.
You are literally motivating me because every moment you're closer and closer and closer.
And by the way, I'm getting closer and closer. I said this off record. I was like, I'm getting closer, and my nose is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, bro. I'm like, oh my God.
Dude, you're inspiring me right now that you're telling everyone you're chasing your dream and you believe in your ability. You are confident in your ability. And I think you do it, but at the end of the day, it matters within. Can I do it? And you can. And we're not there yet, but we're getting closer. I see growth. I see progress. And I'm literally so happy that you're chasing your dream. You're not stopping. You're going for it full throttle. And then another thing that just came up is what happens if your dream doesn't work out? Is that ever in your head?
Yeah, like it's occurred. I think it's for me, it does. I think it's like, okay, what if soccer doesn't work out? But I think that's one of the reasons why I went to Villanova. Every decision I make is a thoughtful decision of what can help me best as a human being. Me, I'm not just a soccer player. That's not me. I'm more than a soccer player. So I think me going to Villanova helped me distinguish, okay, soccer is very important to me, but also education is very important to me as well. Knowledge is power. So right now at Villanova, I got into the business school and I had a really good semester last semester. So I got into the business school. I'm studying finance and minoring in marketing. And that's just what I'm doing. I'm doing that. I'm studying business finance, but also I'm a soccer player. And I think you just have to balance the two. And I think I'm going to give everything I have to soccer. But I know that if it doesn't work out, God forbid, but if it doesn't work out, it's normal. And by the way, soccer's going to end one day, whether or not, like I go pro or not, it's going to end. And I want to be able to do something else that's not soccer, that's not sports, have another hobby. I think that's important for not only like surviving, but mental health. Like I think that's really crucial to have something else that interests me.
So do you think that are you really chasing your dream 100%, or do you just have something to fall back on?
No, I'm chasing my dream 100%. That's
That's
100%.
that's awesome because I know oftentimes people, I'm giving everything to soccer, but I also have school to fall back on that if it doesn't work out, I'm okay. I'm still gonna make six figures. Is
Mhm.
that what's in your mind?
No, I don't really talk like that. I just would say I don't really think like that. But I'm just like I'm giving everything I have to soccer. But I think also knowledge is important. Whatever I learn in finance is could helps me on the soccer field. Finance, you learn about business management, you learn about how to talk to people, connections, you learn about the business side of things. It's all crucial to that could help me in football. That's the way I look at it. I don't look at it as oh, if I know I can go a 95% because then I can if I mess up, that's I have something to fall back on. I think that's fear. And I try to, of course, we all have fear. It's normal. We're all afraid. But I try my hardest not to be afraid of reaching my goals.
I think that was so well said. I'm thinking of Charlie McKessie, the book that I gave you of Imagine If We Weren't Afraid. And that's what just came up. And so that's what just
That one hit home. That one hit home.
that one hit home. And so, you spoke right there about school, how you just got into the finance program. I think that's what you said. And
Yeah.
that's a congratulations to you for
Thank
your work ethic, not only on the field, but off the field. And I wanted to ask, is there anything else besides soccer that you kind of like yearn for, that you want, that you need, that you really want to do? Is there anything else?
Well, I'm really into fashion. I think that's a big thing. I may not, so, sometimes I dress like a like an idiot, but I'm really into the fashion mode. I'm into my dad, obviously being a hairstylist. He's always in Fashion Week, and I think obviously we have similar interests in that. I just love to be creative and see that different world other than sports. I think it takes my mind off of all the stress that comes with college soccer and all that stuff. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. I think me and my brother. I think I told you about this. Me and my brother and Prince and my family have this fashion brand. It's called Pass. So the other day we were just modeling in the clothes. So now we just got to start a website. But yeah, that's kind of my off soccer, hobby that I like.
Why don't you just tell us about Pass and tell us about it?
Well, it's called Pass is called Prince, Andre, and Sebastian. That's the name. But it's a soccer oriented fashion brand that you wear on the street. It's everything. All the clothes are soccer. Have the idea of football and the love of football, like famous moments and the colors, and especially like with the World Cup and the Euros. It's everything that you wear when you're training, but also you can wear in on the street. It's a fashion brand that's just cheap. Nothing like it's not nothing. It's not Louis Vuitton, but it's people can wear and be comfortable in.
And so Pass, why that name? I know the names of you guys, but Pass
We
is
thought it was kind of cool because soccer, it's you pass the ball. We thought it was something that's unique, that it causes growth. When you pass the ball, it's you connecting to someone else. The ball's connecting to someone else. And I think that's what we want to do. We want to connect. We want to be a tribe. We want to connect the world. And that's what football does. Football is full of tribalism, kinship, everything that people have their own tribe. You see in the Euros now. You see in France against Netherlands, half the stadium's blue, half the stadium's orange. That the French is the tribe. It's just something that's magical. You feel the energy. You feel when someone scores a goal, you don't even know the guy next to you, and you're hugging him, you're kissing him, you're just so happy. That's what we want to achieve in our brand.
I was just touched hearing that, even the past to connect, to create that. I didn't even think about it. And if you share that, Oof, that just sold me. I don't know how many other audience members it's gonna sell, but I'm gonna put that in the comments, hopefully when you have the website up, and then
Yeah.
we'll put it out there and hopefully people buy the merch because I'll probably be buying the merch. I'll be a consumer.
Because
Now
you're
that
gonna be modeling, but we should get you modeling, man.
I'm not a model. I'm not a model.
$1 million smile,
Even though your dad wants to give me a sick haircut, I'll take it. I'll take it any day. But seriously, that's a great name now that I know the meaning of it. Did I think it was a great name before I knew the meaning? I'll be honest, no, I didn't. But that
huh?
name and hearing the meaning, that is amazing. And you know, I'm always gonna be truthful. I'm always gonna tell you the truth. So that's what I got. But I'm serious. I'll be a consumer of that brand just because of the reasoning, the definition, and all of that. And I just want to say, you're a fashion designer right now, soccer player, you're a finance guy. There's so many things that we can do, and people, you know, sometimes will be like, "You can't do it. You can't do it," and you're just going after it with both arms. You're just going forward and saying, "I'm gonna go after it. I'm gonna do it," and I
Gotta
can't
do it.
wait to see when you do it because you are going to do it. And I
Yeah, you gotta believe it.
front row seats. I'll be watching you in goal, and I'm really excited. And I know that you're going to Switzerland coming up uh,
Yeah.
for some trials. I don't know if that's low key, if that's confidential, but I'm really excited for you, and I can't wait to see how those trials go.
Thanks, man. Yeah, no, it's good. I mean, I don't want to talk too much about it, but it's just a great opportunity that I'm excited for. I think it's obviously I have 2 falls left. So, but it's just getting my foot in the door. That's all it is. It's just being able to test myself against the best, get great evaluations, and eventually that's the path to pro. I think you got to play in front of other eyes that you don't know that are willing to, take you. So I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, getting other people's opinions, seeing how they value you, and I think it's so valuable, especially because they're professional coaches.
Right.
Rewinding a little bit, I know you spoke about. Ooh, I was doing a little movement.
Hey.
But going back and rewinding and seeing your whole story, you know, you've had many downfalls come in, right? But we don't really want to come downfall because it sounds so negative. But you've had a lot of dips in the road where people either rejected you and you had a lot of ups where you just kept going and going and going. And so it's really admiring to see you get over the hump. You get over the hump, get over the hump. And now you're steady. And now you're steady. And I can't wait to see it go again and go up. And that's just part of the journey. That's life. And I've experienced so many downs in my life, but the way that you've persevered with positivity, with kindness, with appreciation for the people before you, that's hard to find because some people walk around with malice, with hate, with animosity, and oh, why couldn't it work out? But you're making it positive, and it's not just for the show. When we talk about it,
Yeah.
it was for the right direction.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, your head is in such a good place. And I know that, and I'm preaching it. I know you're gonna reach those dreams because of your mindset. And I just want to pinpoint to the audience about the mental health. So many people think that things happen on the outside, but everything happens within you. And
Mhm.
you have a clear mindset of how you want it. And I'm telling you, that is what's getting you over the hump because it's easy to stay in the little hole and keep going deeper and deeper and deeper.
No, I think you hit that right on the dot. And I think also you told me this, but life is going to be like this, right? Up and down, but your mind and your level-headedness needs to be constant. Don't get too high in the highs, don't get too low in the lows. That's what you said to me. And I think I struggle with that. Like I'm not saying when I'm really high, like I'm feeling like a god. No, but I'm very emotional very quickly and I get mad or say it's in training, something happens. I think that's what I struggle with the most. So I try my hardest to really keep a cool head. And when you're in a cool head, you're able to make conscious decisions.
Yes. Yeah. Was there any point in your journey where it was like a big turning point, or do you think all of them had an equivalent
I
kind of?
would say the biggest things were me going to Portugal. I think that was the biggest thing where I learned a lot about myself. And I was in an environment constantly getting better and learning and making mistakes and playing with a group of players that we have got like a lot of my friends that were there now are playing for Lille and Braga. One of my good friends is signed for Braga, and one of my good friends is one of the best 11 he plays for Lille. You just play with those guys, you don't forget. You don't forget. You learn a lot about them. So I think that was the biggest thing that changed my life. But also, I would say the college situation. I think just college is just a lot more rejections than acceptance, and that's just the way it is. And you deal with a lot of people that just don't want you. So I think that's just the constant rejection of that just makes me want to just continue pushing forward and continue to be the best goalkeeper I can be in college. And win silverware
Yeah, it's a
for
weird
Villanova.
it's a weird paradox kind of with rejection, like, damn, it sucks so much, but I want to keep going. You know,
Yeah, you're
it's
like, yeah,
and that's a competitor in you. And people who aren't athletes don't feel it. It's like if you tell me I suck, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna put my head down, go in my room, cry a little bit, put on a little movie and watch it. And that's kind of the stoicism, the competitor, the athlete in you. And so when you see if your mom was spoken to that way, she'd probably come up with a little fist and be like,
oh yeah,
get out of my face. And so you don't react that way. You kind of react with, I'm gonna prove you wrong. I'm gonna do this. It's just different. And I want to speak on that part just so the audience
yeah,
realize that from your story, we learned so much from you. And you could connect the dots that it's a different way that you handled certain things, certain rejections, and the paradox. I mean, the paradox that an athlete sees rejection is honestly weird because why would I want to prove I believe in myself. I don't need to prove you wrong.
right,
But the reality is the boss who's telling you what to do, he's the one in charge. And so
right,
you need to prove him wrong, or else you're not going to be a professional soccer player. So you need to prove to every coach that you are worthy and I am this player. And so it's really cool to see that in the athletic realm and you bring that.
thanks, man. I appreciate it, Gia.
I know that throughout your journey, now you've gotten into reading and you're reading the book The Power of Positive Leadership by John Gordon. You might not be that far into it. However, I know that you're trying to read and you're putting your mind towards that. Do you think any of that has helped you become a better leader?
Yeah, of course. I think when the first chapter and the second chapter was talking a lot about how you can help your culture. I forget the actual like chapter, but it was like your body language is contagious. I think that's the biggest thing that I noticed a change in. I think when you're the guy that's just like, oh, I don't want to be in training, or it's too cold, or it's too early, people start to talk like that. And I think that was the biggest thing that I noticed. And also, I think I started talking to my friends about it, my teammates, and the older guys and the captains that are the real big leaders on the team that everyone follows. And you can start to see a change to them, and also which eventually helps change the program. And that's what I started to see. And we had a really good spring. We had a lot of progress from the first day to the last. And I'm really excited to continue that development in the fall.
That's awesome. It relates to what you said in the beginning about being positive, about your smile, you're improving culture, your actions to improve culture. And so it's very cool how when you didn't even know what reading was or you didn't really put time into it, that all of a sudden the person who you were and the person who you're trying to be is connecting with a book by John
Right.
Gordon. So that kind of aligns, and I'm glad that this book fits you so well. I
Yeah,
can't wait
it does.
reading it and you're done going through it. It's gonna open up your eyes. I already read it, and so it's gonna be great.
I'm excited to continue reading, man. I take a lot of notes. I mean, everything. I'm a slow reader, dude. But every time I read, I take notes of the stuff I read, and then after that chapter, I reread the chapter without the notes. So just kind of like banging in there.
That's awesome. It's bouncing off all the walls in that big head of yours.
And
I'm
that big
I'm,
head of
I'm
mine.
joking. I'm joking. So throughout the book, it's a lot about positivity. You're very positive. You're a positive person. What do you think is the best way to spread positivity?
I think being that person that pushes you, like for example, I'll say the best way I can give my best positivity to you is to hold you accountable, but also be kind to you and be that person that can give you a hand when you need me, that person that could give you a hug, I just being that person that you can go to for any type of advice. Because I think holding people accountable is what gets me what really attracts me the most. Because I think there's a lot of friends that just say yes to everything. Be like, yeah, do that, or yeah, that's okay, that's cool. I don't really care. But if you really, really care about them, you're gonna hold them accountable. If they don't show up to training that day, if they're not acting the right way, if they're speaking with malice or with not the way they usually speak, that you tell them, you hold them accountable. I think that's really coming from the heart.
Okay, that's a great way to spread positivity. Speaking on your career and your journey, it's just everything's about a team. It seems like everything's more about a team more than
Yeah,
yourself sometimes, and you want to improve that culture. You want to do these things, and you need to know how to handle a person with positivity because you don't want to do two negatives at one time. That's never two
right.
wrongs don't make a right. So it's cool to see how you're trying to bring in that positivity, and I think that you're doing that with Villanova really well. From what I hear, they really love you and are happy to have you, and you're happy to have them as your team.
Right. Yeah.
As I move in, we're nearing the ending of the show. I always have these three questions, two questions, and it's really what the show is about, of what the Greatness Inward and Outward show is. It's to find people, inspire others, and appreciate them in front of everyone, to tell the world who they are. And for you, soccer has a big role in your life, but you're more than just a soccer player. You're a person who cares about others, wants to improve cultures. You have a smile right now just
Your
here,
deal's about to make me cry, guys.
what you like to do. And so when you're doing all this, you're inspiring other people. You're putting smiles on my face when I didn't even know I could cheese that hard. And so, when you're able to do that to people and you're able to affect them that way, it's pretty great. So I wanted to ask you, what does greatness mean to you? Do you think that you are great, and why?
To me, I think greatness is being your best self every single day and pushing yourself to the limits, failure or success, and just continuing to want to better yourself and better the people around you. I think that's greatness.
Okay, that's a great definition. Do you think that you're great?
I think, yeah, but I think I can improve. I wouldn't say, I think great's such a broad word. It means so many different things. I think, do I think I'm my definition of great? In some ways, yeah, but there's sometimes I'm not perfect. I sometimes am not great in certain situations where I can improve, and sometimes I feel like that was a time where I was showing greatness. But I don't think I'm great. I don't. It's hard to really put a line for that. But I think my definition of great, I think I'm striving every day to be closer and closer to that definition.
That's awesome. And I know that the greatness is a very broad word, but each person who comes on the show is going to interpret it a different way and going to share
Mhm.
their story a little bit different. Can you give me some examples of when you think you're great or when you are great, so the audience can really understand why you feel that you're great?
I'm a big person that likes to give. I like to make people smile. I like to make people happy. I would say when I do something for someone that isn't out of, oh, I'm expecting something back, like genuinely doing it because I love them, I go, oh, I'm really happy I did that because I made them happy. I made them smile. I made their day. I think that's when I'm not sitting back and, oh, I'm great. Like I just did that. I don't think anyone thinks like that. But I think when I look back, I'm like, oh, that was a pretty amazing moment that I'm really proud of myself for doing.
Okay, that's a great example. And then at other times you're not so great and you're improving, you're striving,
Yeah,
just like you are in the field, just like
exactly.
you are in the classroom, making the finance, making the soccer happen, making your dreams happen. It all correlates in everything you're saying. Nothing is contradicting right now. And
Yeah.
that's what I really want the audience to see, is that even greatness, I'm striving. I'm trying. I'm going after it. And so it's really awesome to see it again. Another example of you giving it all you got. You're trying your best, and if you could do it, it's gonna make you happy, but at
Right.
least you're not trying for the wrong thing.
Yeah, we all screw up. Remember, I won't give too much detail. But remember in the small sided at Puerto Rico camp? Yeah, we lost and I was heated and I did things I probably shouldn't have done. We lost lots of balls that day. That's for sure. They went into the crowd. But yeah, man, those are examples of just times where I could have been better. But yeah, no, I like to, tease myself a little bit. But yeah, no, those were funny moments that we were laughing about after practice. So that
Yeah,
was funny.
even this last game right now, I try to talk to Seb after he lost the game, and he's like, "Yeah, Gio, yeah." Or if I score a goal, and I'm like, I need to rub it in a little bit because I know that he gets a little teased. Uh,
Well, I remember she was like, "Seb, are you okay?" I'm like, no. I'm like, oh. So yeah, it was funny.
Well, Seb, I am so happy that you came onto the show. I called Seb. His name's Sebastian. Guys, give it a round for Seb. It's just been amazing to have him here. He really is a bright light to anyone who meets him. I would highly encourage you follow him on the social media platforms. We'll have him on the show. You give him a look, you give him a DM, you tell him that he's having a great day. I'm telling you, he'll respond with a selfie and a smile. He's a
100%.
Yeah, he will. He's a great guy. You guys see that he's striving as much as he can to be a professional soccer player. His star dream. He has 3 goals of his that are short term, a little midterm to reach that dream. He's going to Villanova. He's a student athlete. He's working his balls off. And at the end of the day, he's also making it in finance, killing it in school. He has his family. He's representing his family, Dejessus Cutler. And it's just so amazing to see that generations of Cutler, hopefully they see you on the professional stage playing in front of 20,000 fans. They're like, that was my great grandpa. But seriously, guys, he is really putting himself in everything. He's gathering things from each person, trying to be his best self. And again, spreading positivity, trying his hardest to do that, thinking he's great, striving for greatness. This is what it's all about, everyone. And that's why I knew you were going to be a fantastic guest to bring on, because even though soccer comes into your life so much, so heavy, everyone's going through different things. Some people are dancers, some people work 9 to 5s. They can all take something from your story, your rejection, the pain that you had to go through, what you had to do to get to where you're at, and see everything it's just a little hole. And I'm gonna just get right back up. And it's awesome to see, Seb. I cannot thank you enough for having you on the show. And I'm so happy that you decided to accept the invitation.
It was a pleasure. I'm so happy I was able to join. You're a beast. And yeah, guys, I can't wait to continue watching the G.I.O show grow and become one of the best podcasts in the world. But yeah, no, I really appreciate it. And thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, Seb. Everyone, the viewers, the audience, thank you so much. This is your host, Giovanni Calderon. Again, please follow Seb on any social media platforms, anything at all. Send him a message, open up his day, make him feel great. Everyone, this is the G.I.O show. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. Love, G.I.O.
Love.